We have we have so many examples, but for the purpose of this particular discussion, I want to say that the two major ones are fixed exchange rate regime or floating exchange rate regime. Anytime you hear people say fixed exchange rate regime, then we are talking about the regime where the government wakes up a day and says that $1 should be exchanged for 15 cedis. And once that announcement is made throughout the year, that is how it is. And that is fixed exchange rate regime. And so Ghana, from 1957 all the way to 1966, we were doing fixed exchange rate regime, gold standard. Fixed exchange rate regime. And for many, many years, or throughout those years, we saw one cedi being exchanged for 98 cents. That is almost $1. 98 cents, almost $1. Now, pounds. One pound was going for 2 cedis. And so today, if you go to the village and you speak to our grandpas, then when you come back and you are selling, you also do same. And because they have fear for Nkrumah, many decided not to go out there at all to import. And so those days, people were queuing for sugar, milk, and others because we didn't have foreign currencies available. Dr. Buzia came and with the help of IMF tried to do a kind of, how do you call it? We call it experimental flexible regime. Regime of exchange rate. It was on an experimental basis, I should say. And within few years, what happened? CD depreciated by 55%. And so when at first you could use 1 CD to go for 98 cents, about $1, at the end of Buzia's term, that's 1972, we were exchanging 1 CD for 55 cents. So CD was very high in value, more than dollars. And Ghanaians were happy. We want to see our currency to have that value. But was it right? So we continued through that process. And what we even did very well was that from August, I'm speaking like Mr. Kwakubako, from August 1978 through to 20th April 1983, $1 was exchanged for 2 cedis, 75 pesos. So that was fixed exchange rate regime. And during those days, again, you wouldn't get foreign currencies. And so people who went to the black market and got it at a very higher rate then had to what? Sell the things they got also at a very higher rate so they could stay afloat in business. And Rawlings at the time classified those people as what? Kalabule people. Kumasi women were stripped naked. Until I did economics, I didn't know that they were very right. Because Ghana government has said $1 was 2 cedis, 75 pesos. You will not get it. You go to black market, it's about 20 cedis for $1. And so if you go to Europe to buy and you come here to sell, you wouldn't have to sell it cheaply. In order that you get more cedis for few dollars, you needed to increase prices. So those women didn't do anything wrong. And I'm sure Rawlings will bear me out in his grave. He wasn't fair to them at all. Seriously. And so after that, Ghana, we subscribed to economic recovery programs exactly on 20th April 1983, and then we decided to go flexible exchange rate regime. Anytime you hear flexible exchange rate regime, another name is a floating exchange rate regime. When it is flexible, the rate or how much we would exchange local currencies for foreign currencies is determined by the demand and supply. Availability of what? The foreign currency, the supply, vis-a-vis the demand. And so anytime demand is higher than the supply, then your currency will what? Depreciate. So that was the situation. And we call it a flexible exchange rate regime. In that sense, there is no government intervention. The local currency is rate is or value is always determined by how much foreign currencies we have vis-a-vis the demand for the foreign currencies. But Ghana we have never done a full flexible exchange rate regime. We can't. And so what we do currently, we call it what? Manage flexible exchange rate. What does that mean? It means that even though demand and supply of dollars and other foreign currencies are supposed to determine the value of the cedi, government would enter the market. Government would intervene through Bank of Ghana as and when it becomes necessary. And so here we see Bank of Ghana sometimes supplying, especially when the cedi is under siege. And so that's what currently we are going through. Now, why do we have problem? Sometimes you see cedi doing very well, sometimes not doing very well. And recently, I said that cedi has never done so well like it did between January 2017 to January 2021. Nana Akufo-Addo's first term has been the best when it comes to cedi management, because at the time Akufo-Addo became president, $1 was going for 1 cedi 92 pesos, and I think they were 4 cedis 20 pesos. 1 cedi 92 pesos was when President Mahama took over from himself, 7th January 2013, and at the time he was handing over to Nana Addo, $1 was going for 4 cedis 20 pesos. And at the time, Nana Addo handed over power to himself again, 7th January 2021. $1 was going for 5 cedis 85 pesos. And that has been one of the best records. But then, the following year, 2021, we saw cedi depreciating. At the end of 2021, $1 was going for 6 cedis 20 pesos. And it even became very bad during 2022, where at a point we saw $1 going for 17 cedis and a whole that. And that is what has brought us here. And we all know anytime you have to exchange more of your local currencies for foreign currencies, what happens? Prices of goods and services go up, because most of what we wear, what I'm wearing, with the exception of this that is made in Ghana, almost everything is, I'm imported with the dollar. And so once you have to exchange more local currency, cedi for dollar, and your cedi depreciates, the cost of what I'm wearing will definitely go up. And that is why we are experiencing currently what we are going through. Yeah. And so let me quickly say, and in 2 minutes, hand over the baton to my colleagues. So why is that? I have mentioned that anytime we have more foreign currencies, your cedi is stronger than what people are seeking to, individuals like traders, manufacturers, they all need money to import. Sometimes they are inputs, and the traders would need dollars to bring back goods from outside to use here. And so let me say that whatever that would boost supply is very good. It will help the value of cedi to stand. And so what are those things? Now, because ours is managed floating exchange rate regime, when government has more money, government is able to supply when cedi is in trouble. But when government doesn't have money, that is when cedi is in trouble. Bank of Ghana is not able to come to the market. And so we have a basket with Bank of Ghana, and at that basket, any Ghana government sells gold, or goes for loan. We sell the cocoa. All those foreign currencies go to that basket, and we call that basket international gross reserves. I'm sure we have heard about it. Yeah, international reserve, and normally we will quote it in months. And so today, at the end of April, our total reserves was $6.5 billion US, and that is all 3.0 month import cover. It means that things we are better, because 2016 it was 2.8 month import cover. 2016 December. I'm just trying to do this so we get to know where we've come from. it was 2.8 months, and that's translated into 6.1 billion US dollars. It went up to 4.8 month import cover at the end of December 2019. And we had total reserves of over $11 billion, and that is one of the highest nominal reserves as a country we have had at the end of 2019. It declined to where we saw it because government had to intervene in the market to do so many things. We also, when we were exposed, when the fundamentals became weak and we were, exposed. And the year 2022, you know what happened to the global economy. So what I'm trying to say is that anytime government sells gold, government sells oil, government sells or goes for loan, the money goes to what? Bank of Ghana, and that becomes the reason why our city will become what? Stronger. And so the more loans government go for, the more gold we sell, then the stronger our currency. Another thing is that export private individuals produce here. Yeah, I'll finish very soon. Private individuals also sell. So when private individuals go outside there, like Kwame Despite, going outside to sell their products, they also bring in dollars. And again, foreign direct investment. Ghana is the most peaceful country in West Africa. And so when people come here to invest in this economy, they bring dollars. That helps to boost the supply. Again, remittances. We have people staying abroad. When they also work hard, they, send some coins to their mothers, their fathers, and all that. That also helps. So that's how we get the supply. But the demand, that's where the problem is. Import. When we import more, today as I speak with you, toothpick we import from China with dollars. When you begin to do all those things, when the import goes up, again, your city will become weaker because it means that demand will now rise against the supply. Another thing is that when your educational system is bad, I'm finishing, Mr. Chairman. When your educational system is very bad, people want to school abroad, they will take dollars away. But if you build strong educational system, health system, you keep more dollars here. One, again, lastly,
Thank you. So we're going to give that opportunity to everybody because else it will not be fair. So Dr. Domfe has spoken. We're going to listen to Prof. and then we'll go to my brother and then to Dr. Tiahine and then so we'll give everybody the same amount of time. And then after we'll have some interesting discussions.
Thank you. So whilst we wait for the next presentation, may I kindly do some acknowledgement with the indulgence of the chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, as was indicated earlier, we have with us Mr. Patrick Kwati Echampon, former IGP. Please let us acknowledge him. Then my own Abdul Malik Kwekubako. Please, let's acknowledge him. He is the editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide. We also have Dr. Agnes Edu, Chief CEO, Ghana Trade Fair Authority. You're welcome, madam. We also have Mr. Ampofo Onyina, retired banker. Please, let us acknowledge you. Yeah. We also have Honorable Clement Wilkinson, GAM West MC.
Prof, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Respectfully, I think I can stand and do this. When I see the face of our student, it gives me that hope to do this and to do a formal presentation to my students. I think somewhere 2017, there was a speech by a president who said, he will raise the dollar, handcuff it, and give it to Bank of Ghana. And I was thinking, trying to find out when he became a police officer to do this. But the statement reflects genuine commitment to economic stabilization, not backed by guns, but backed by policies and measures. But the full realization of these policy potentials are very important to the challenges of external and internal conditions. And I must say that it gives an opportunity to look at a blend of rhetoric and political efforts. In my early days in economics, I was told by my lecturer that exchange rate is a function of other factors, which includes balance of trade, which includes inflation, interest rates, foreign direct investment, government debt, etc., a lot. And to address the exchange rate issue, we need to look at all these factors. And I'm happy my doc mentioned exchange rate. I am looking at it from the... that is what I'm going to consider its impact on the exchange rate we are talking about. And I think I'll start with from a few things here. The media, can you help me out? Can you move the slide for me? I have 15 minutes to do this presentation. Can you move the slides for me? Okay. I'm sure it's up. Yeah, go ahead. Can you control it from there for me? Okay. So you can skip the agenda. I will be looking at a few things on key mineral laws, Ghana export promotion, and I'll be looking at the performance across regime as well, for us to understand what we are looking at now. If you look at the background here, anytime we enhance capacity, export capacity, and then reducing import dependency, the result is that it improves balance of trade, and that is able to help stabilize the currency. That's the key thing we need to know. There are a few things when we talk about balance of trade. It's just the difference between two things: the monetary value of exports and that of import over a certain period. I must also say that, in fact, this forms a major part in our balance of payment portion of a country. But any time we have countries are buying more, to be literal, to come down to our level, when you are buying more from a country, from the world, what happens? And if a country at the world is also buying more from you, you have a problem with your currency. Over the years, we have seen that we buy more from other countries than the other country buying more from us. So we are looking at CD appreciation and CD depreciation. That's very important. This gives us, anytime we talk about value of export, that's if you take export, imports, the balance of trade. You can speed up for me so that I can finish on time. If you look at trade surplus, anytime we have a surplus, what does that mean? It means that the exports are more than the import. And you have a lot of things that will happen. When you have this, it means that you can increase your national income, your GDP, you can strengthen the domestic currency, you can also accumulate more foreign reserves. Then when you have a deficit, it is the opposite of what we are talking about. All right. In Ghana or the rest of the world, we have never had a balanced trade. It's difficult, in rare cases, to have a balanced trade. So that needs to be established. And if you go back, you now understand that major export of our country, for Ghana, we export a lot of gold. We export gold. We export cocoa, oil and gas, timber, wood, national exports. And then we have minerals. In terms of our export, time may not permit me to look at the countries that we traded and all that at this stage. You come back to laws. I brought these laws for us to understand because that will feed into the last presentation. There's a key mining law here in Ghana that needs to be looked at, and that's the solution we'll profile at the end of our presentation. That is law, PNDC law 153. Let's keep this law very important because I'm sure it's not helping our economy that much in terms of our balance of trade. These are the laws we have in Ghana in terms of minerals. Then, when we come to the regimes, and this is what I spent some time to talk about, across regimes, export and import across various regimes of our country. We've had some fluctuations over the years, our export-import, not stable over the years, as a result of sometimes commodity prices, as a result of global economic conditions, as a result of domestic policy and trade agreements. These are things that are also affecting our balance of trade. Anytime we have a deficit, and I'll show the slide, there's a slide before this, where we have the graph. For us to, there are no graphs inside? Okay. I was just trying to show you a graph that shows the position of our country over the years. Since 2007, that was the essence of bringing the graph for us to appreciate what we are talking about. Unfortunately, it's not there, but I can also try and see if I can have it here. Quarterly, we have seen imports consistently over export. If you look at the quarterly data, from 2007 all the way to 2017, Ghana, we have experienced a consistent export, import over export. And when it happens, what will be the signal? Our students are here. When you have export, import over your export, what happens? You have a deficit. And when you have a deficit, what happens? What are the consequences? It affects your currencies as well. But if you see the trend from 2017 upward, we saw a shift. Exports exceeding imports from 2017 all the way to 2024, as of today, giving us a total trade what? Surplus. The figures are there. If you go to World Bank, WDI, you get these values. And anytime you have an surplus, you have your currency also appreciating, going up. Now the question now is, why are we having issues with our exchange rate? Because what it means is that other countries are buying more from you than you buying more from them. So the pressure on your currency should be lower. What then is the problem? That should tell you across regimes from 2000, when our president, former president, Kufuor handed over, we experienced that. When our late president, Atamils, handed over, yes. When our vice president, Mahama, handed over, we experienced that. It was only in 2017 that we saw that change. What is the cause of this? Why are we going through what we are going through, arresting the dollar? And I can show you the PND's law. There is a law, an export retention law, a foreign exchange retention law. We can check. The law says that, with the permission, let me read this here. Government of Ghana should review mining companies in Ghana with the permission of Bank of Ghana and Ministry of Finance have the right to retain less than 25% of foreign exchange earnings for acquiring machinery and equipment, spare parts, raw materials, as well as debt servicing, dividend payment, remittances in respect of quota for expatriate personnel. That is the law. We are recording a surplus, but when these experts are sending the earnings, they are required to keep less than, not less than. What is it doing to more than and less than? Not less than means what? Our students. So they are free to export more. And these are huge institutions, mining companies. And I showed you the gold, we export major. So when you are recording a trade surplus, and these funds are also being repatriated, then what happens? Arresting the dollar. Not rhetoric, but it should be backed by policies and measures. I think this law should be looked at again. My stand on this: gold is a leading exporting commodity in Ghana. Therefore, the government of Ghana, in order to save the exchange rate problem, should tighten foreign exchange retention law to the extent that companies reduce the repatriation on their earnings, apart from speculations. And initially stated that the functions of exchange rates are balance of payments, interest rates, inflation, foreign direct investments, government debt. I am looking at one leg of that. That's a surplus. So as part of what we want to say, we expect that arresting the dollar, for me, is a blend of political rhetoric and policy efforts by our government. We have seen a lot. And if you go back to see the trend, 27 reserves surplus. And then we have about 10 of them. The last one, we have Ghana Export Promotion Authority, give us initiatives, helping the local productions. And then we have digital transformation and e-commerce, investment promotion, and ease of doing business. We have agriculture transformation, export promotion, industrializing, and value addition, climate smart trade policies. In fact, I could suggest that although we are doing well as a country, because exchange rate is not sacrosanct to just one factor, there are other factors that are contributing. Addressing those factors could help for us to have a better Ghana to live in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Prof. Next, we'll have Dr. Bano also share some words of wisdom with us on the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, with your permission, I would want to stay there, but I'm not doing any form of visual presentation.
No problem, Doc.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Chair, what I want to do is to analyze our current situation. I would want to go deep into the historical antecedents. I want to look at where we find ourselves today and why are we here today, precisely looking at 2024. What has been the contributing factor to the cedi depreciating at the rate that we've seen so far as part of the first quarter of the year? Mr. Chair, if you look at the US ICE dollar index, which is the global measure of the 21, foreign direct investment to Ghana was about 2.4 billion. Now, in 2022, foreign direct investment actually declined to 1.14 billion in 2022, which is showing a year-on-year decline of about 39%. Now, if you consider the African region as a whole, and you are assessing foreign direct investment, now in 2021, you had foreign direct investment of around 80 billion USD. Now, in 2022, foreign direct investment actually declined the whole African region by 44%, coming to around 49 billion. So that has been the trend so far. Now, if you go to the data and also look at the regional level, now within Africa, if you consider foreign direct investment, the other appreciation of foreign direct investment is the North African area, whereby they had about 58% increase of foreign direct investment. Now, when you come to West Africa in general, there was a decline of about 35% in terms of foreign direct investment. If you go to Central Africa, foreign direct investment. If you go to East Africa, they also have foreign direct investment increase. Now, when you go to Southern Africa, they had a worse performance. Southern Africa actually had a decline of foreign. Basically, that has been the case. Now, if you look at our situation, and I ask myself, that what are the major reasons why the cedi has seen a sharp decline against the US dollar, Mr. Chair? Now, one of the most important things that I would say has been the restriction on the BUG intervention. I think Dr. Adonfe, in his earlier presentation, through its monetary instrument, especially the exchange rate regime, the interest rate regime, that is the money supply channel, can push some forex into the economy to resuscitate the cedi. But then, because if many of us will look at the recent staff agreement that was reached with the IMF in April 2024, now, the first criteria, or the first most important thing that you see was that the Bank of Ghana had actually reached or attained a minimum amount of what? Gross foreign reserve that Dr. Adonfe talked about. So what it essentially means is that though our gross international reserve is increasing over the years, I mean, in 2023, we had a reserve of about 5.9 billion, but today we are looking at a reserve of about 6.59 billion. So obviously, yes, as I said, the reserve is appreciating over the years. However, because of this particular restriction, the central bank is not able to intervene into the markets, i.e. the central bank is not able to supply forex to the commercial banks, and for that matter, for you and I to go to the banks and get it. And that is why you have a lot of people trading in the black market. I'll come to that aspect as well. Now, the second most important thing that I will touch on is speculation. Now, I think we have the traders here and they'll be talking about the practical side. But then the reality is that you have a lot of people demanding for dollar in the Ghanaian economy. It's not just today. That has been the situation. Actually, these people don't need a dollar to undertake trade or undertake production. However, they take these currencies and they keep it under their beds and speculate. And once speculation sets in and people are desperate, people are eager to know what is happening, then They now sell these dollar that they have through the black market and through the forex reserve. And as part of my proposals, the forex sector, in terms of the forex exchange sector, is one of the areas that I will look at. Now, Mr. Chair, quickly, to make my point very clear, main sources of forex as a country. Now, our first major source of forex is through trade. So that is what Prof. Brady touched on. So where we have a trade surplus, then it means that, yes, we are doing well. But then one other aspect in terms of having a surplus is that you may be achieving a surplus, all right, but then it does not necessarily also mean that you are forex changing centers